when I was younger, everyone above me, like in the grades, like 2 or 3 grades above me, was super aesthetic. I had a really aesthetic upper class for how small my school was, and I just looked up to these dudes. These dudes were just shredded. They were big, and I just wanted to look like that. That's where my inspiration came from. And as I started to lift, I got inspired by Rambo, like the whole Rambo series, the Rocky, Sylvester Stallone. Like, he was just super cut. There wasn't really anything like him on TV. And once I got interested in nutrition, Tom Venuto was a big source of of just defining what the style of body that I wanted to create looked like. And following his whole top 10 foods, I think I copied and pasted that to 45 people growing up through my high school career. The first time I saw a picture of Zyzz, it was as a Facebook friend had a friend who would always comment on his page, and he had the picture of Zyzz with the down lighting, and he's flexing his chest and looking real mean. And I just thought that was this dude. I had seen some pictures of Zyzz around like 2009, 2010-ish, and I just kind of set that over there. Like, I just didn't mess with it. I just didn't. It just wasn't like engaging enough to me. There was never that breach until like March of this year, when somebody posted a video of Zyzz and said, "Hey, this is what I want to look like. This is the aesthetics that I want to kind of achieve." I looked at the pictures and I was like, well, I want to be bigger than this dude. And when I was like, 26, 27, and he's like, well, that's impossible if you're natural to get to this level. And I was like, well, that's a limiting attitude. But anyways, I watched the videos and I started to see who this guy was. I get past his like facade and the act he kind of held for the general public. And I realized how much we had in common. I couldn't believe it. I didn't know this type of person existed out there. And pretty soon I was watching those videos, and I would go out to the gym and just kill it. And I just loved like everything that he stood for. I kind of agree with about 95% of like who he is. I never really followed anything he did for training. I never followed his diet. I don't use steroids, but I just love what he did for the culture. I love what he did for the community. And the videos he recorded were just very emotional, especially after you learn that, hey, this dude isn't on the planet anymore. He's dead. And like when he's belting out Above and Beyond lyrics, he kind of got me into trance. That was the original style of electronic music I had gotten into, and then I kind of left it over here because it was kind of slow. It was too slow to listen to while I was lifting, and kind of opened my eyes to a couple of other genres. But so the big thing that Zyzz did for me personally, aside from making me realize that I really needed to practice posing, I was just terrible at posing, and so He showed me like how lean you could get. Going into early this year, I really focused on being big, like kind of like a football player, more like. I had left my aesthetic past of like high school behind me and transitioned to more I just wanted to be large. I was wearing like XL shirts, and Zyzz showed me that there was a special benefit in being cut and being shredded, and it kind of opened my eyes to that, and I just decided that, hey, I'm gonna get as lean as I can while staying aesthetic and keeping the muscles that I have built. And so I did it really slowly. I cut over seven months, and so a lot of parallels are being drawn to like me and Zyzz. Everybody downtown is like, oh, that's Zyzz. You know of Zyzz. There's a lot of Australians at my school. They always talk up. They're like, oh, well, how would anyone over here know who Zyzz was? And I started long before I knew who Zyzz was. And Zyzz wasn't in the gym like helping me lift, but he's such a powerful force and an inspiration to a lot of people. And he really sets an example of creating the type of person that you want to be, which is exactly what I stand for. And so when you watch Zyzz videos and you follow him, you kind of have to like you kind of have to pick and choose. It's like a good philosophy that that doesn't really hold true to today. And so you take the good and you kind of shovel the bad away, and you're like, all right, well this is awesome. There's a lot of good stuff to be had here, and so that's pretty much my stance on Zyzz.